Can you hear me? Okay. So my name is Emory Babcock. My project was the effect of decreasing salinity on blue crab behavior. And it was psychoanalysis ecology, which is basically studying how they behave. All right, a little bit of background information. I did the Atlantic blue crab. Its scientific name is Calanectus sapidus. It is freshwater tolerant, and it can be found all the way up the Atlantic coast and in the Gulf of Mexico. It's a major predator and plays a big part in the food web around here. And it is becoming a major fishery and economically growing throughout the Gulf Coast. This is a map of the salinity levels in Mobile Bay. Although blue crabs are tolerant to fresh water, they still have reactions to it. So, as you can see, at the top of the Mobile Bay, where the rivers meet the sea, basically, the salinity was around 1 to 2 or 0 to 2 parts per thousand at the surface. In the middle reach, it reached anywhere from 5, 6, or 7 parts per thousand, and at the mouth of Mobile Bay, it reached 10 to 15 on average. So my observation was, although blue crabs can tolerate decreasing changes in salinity, what effect does salinity have on their behavior, and specifically their sensory behavior? So from that, I came up with a hypothesis. And my hypothesis was that the decreasing change in salinity over time by adding dechlorinated tap water to an original Gulf of Mexico tank will greatly increase the amount of activity in one singular internulae. The internulae is what I counted for the beats per minute. They're located right there in the middle, on either side of the mouth and in between the antenna. So for this, I had several different materials, but it was pretty limited. I had a 10-gallon tank to hold the Atlantic blue crab in. I had a seine net, which is the top picture, and people have already introduced that in other projects. I had a YSI, which is a water quality sampler, but I mainly just specifically used it for testing the salinity level, getting an exact salinity level in the tank. Then I had 2 500 milliliter graduated cylinders and dechlorinated tap water. My procedures. I prepared a 10-gallon tank for the crab to live in for about a week. I seined 17 times with the seine net, and I didn't catch anything. But then someone else caught one in their net, and I used that one. I put it in the tank, and I gave it an adjusting period where it had time to adjust to the water around it because I got the water 2 days before. And then I took the salinity level from the YSI, and then I counted the number of beats per minute of the attenuate. And that was my control. And then to get my data and trials, I took out 1 liter of tank water and then added dechlorinated tap water to it, which basically lowered the salinity level. So this is my data. As you can see on this side, as the salinity decreased, the beats per minute of a singular internulae on the bottom also increased. So although this graph looks like it's decreasing, it's really increasing. So as the fresher the water, the more beats per minute of a singular internulae they had, so they were more active. My results, my data definitely supported my hypothesis. By decreasing the salinity over time, by adding dechlorinated tap water, the amount of activity in one singular internulae was greatly increased. Again, they can tolerate fresh water, but at the same time, they do have different reactions to it. And then Shelby Perry, who also did another research project, she studied how a decreased salinity would affect the feeding habits of a blue crab. And as time went on, as the salinity levels decreased in her experiment, they became more active and ate less. So this kind of correspond with my data. And then in the future, if I was going to do something more, I would do a population study, possibly to figure out where blue crabs are located in the Gulf of Mexico, in relation to like where the fresh water is. So, and then this is my acknowledgement. Greg for being our group mentor, and the counselors for all the hard work they did, the Dolphin Island Sea Lab for all the materials, and Shelby Perry for corresponding data. And any questions, Dayton?